race to the championship just hit the home stretch here on the World Poker Tour.
The World Poker Tour is a series of international poker tournaments featuring the biggest games.
Yes. Nice spot.
The greatest players and the largest payouts on the planet. In Reno, 6 players vie for a $1.7 million prize pool. It's the last chance stop to hit the big time here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome to the World Poker Tour. We're in Reno, Nevada. And Vince, if you're a poker player, you know that means that this is the last chance to win a World Poker Tour regular season event in Season 3.
That's right, Mike, and win a seat in next week's WPT World Championship, which is the culmination of a $70 million season.
And what a season. 15 colossal tournaments, 13 new WPT millionaires, but the regular season ends tonight right here at the Reno Hilton.
We started out with 361 players, all putting up $5,000 each to take a shot at a total prize pool of $1.7 million. And of course, they're going to have their last chance to make the championship.
Let's get down to the table and meet them.
All right. Tonight's short stack is 36-year-old home developer and amateur player from Cleveland, Ohio, Mark Chapik. Now, Mark got into the event through a $500 satellite, and he's in seat number 5 with $182,000 in chips.
In seat 2 is professional gambler Blair Rodman. Blair is 50 years old, lives in Las Vegas, and is a veteran tournament poker player. He'll be starting out tonight with $478,000 in chips.
In 4th chip position with $490,000 is one of the world's best poker players, 28-year-old Phil Ivey. Now, this is Phil's 5th World Poker Tour final table, but he's never won the WPT event.
In seat 3 from Thousand Oaks, California is 41-year-old Arnold Spee. Arnold quit his job in sales to become a professional poker player. A win tonight would make that a good career move, Vince. He'll be starting off with $721,000 in chips.
Okay, 2nd chip position with $802,000 is 61-year-old Russ Carlson. Now, Russ is a retired executive sanitation engineer, but for the last year, he's been driving around the country playing poker tournaments anywhere he can.
And our chip leader in seat 4 is another of this season's young gun players, 23-year-old Michael Yoshino. Michael lives in Southern California, where he serves our country in the Marine Corps Reserves, yet still finds time to play poker in the Los Angeles card clubs. Michael starting out tonight with $937,000 in chips.
Blind, shuffle up and deal.
Who are you selecting, Mike?
Well, Vince, I'm going with Phil Ivey, the guy who's been down there before. I know he's coming to win. He doesn't care about 2nd or 3rd or 4th place. He is out for the gold.
Okay, I'll go with my LA guy, Michael Yoshino. We will see what happens. Let's go to the table. Action's going to be on Michael Yoshino from Los Angeles, California.
Looks down at King 10 of clubs. Going to raise it on hand number 1. Comes in for $46,000.
Mark Chapik quickly going out.
There's the legendary Phil Ivey folding.
And now Russ Carlson with 10-8 and the button. Goes away.
Already?
Blair Rodman with Jack Deuce of spades. Doesn't like it.
Around to Arnold Spee. He's in the big blind. He's picked up Ace Jack.
Pretty good hand.
I raise.
Young guy from Thousand Oaks. He's going to raise it.
Well, I tell you, I think it's a bold re-raise on hand number 1. Normally, people that raise under the gun have a big hand. And usually, early on at these final tables, play is conservative. So I would think you'd have to put Michael on a hand here. Michael Yoshino, a Marine Corps reservist. Not happy hearing that re-raise. Michael does lay down the King 10, so give Arnold Spee credit there, Vince. Pretty bold play on hand 1, I think.
And his dream coming alive here. He's taking a nice pot.
Well, Arnold Spee said this is his dream job, being a professional poker player. A dream could come true tonight for him if he could take this title.
All right, around the table, action's going to be on Russ Carlson.
Looks down at Ace Deuce of clubs.
Russ is retired, has 3 children, been playing poker for 25 years.
Vince, he and his wife just travel around the country just playing in poker tournaments. They love to play.
What a life.
He comes in for $30,000.
Blair Rodman with 5 deuce throws it away.
Arnold looks down at Queen 3 offsuit and folds.
And now it's on Michael Yoshino, who's got a wired pair of 6s with the button in front. Pretty good hand.
And he's going to call.
Mark Chapik goes out.
Round to Phil Ivey.
Has a 5-4, doesn't want to play, so it's two-way action. Russ Carlson versus Michael Yoshino.
Well, here comes the flop. Flop is 10-5-4 with 2 hearts. Russ has flopped a gut shot straight draw, as we say. A 3 would give him a straight. He's going to lead out and bet 30,000.
He's playing fearless, bold poker. No hesitation. Betting right into the kid.
He's going to put Michael to the test here with those 2 6s. As we said, this guy's in the Marine Corps Reserves. Already been to Kuwait and Iraq, so you can't imagine anything at a poker table is going to phase this guy.
The one that's looking very unfazed is Russ Carlson.
Well, Michael trying to put this guy on a hand here. Does he have a big pair? Is he on a flush draw? Or is he bluffing? Well, Michael is going to call him here. Michael putting him on a couple big cards, thinks his 2 6s are good. So far they are. Oh, a 3 comes right off. Russ has made his straight.
Caught the absolute miracle card.
This card gives Michael an open-end straight draw as well as his pair of 6s.
But Russ with no reaction.
All in.
Goes all in.
Wow. 700,000 he's betting here, Vance.
Did he overbet this? Do you want to lose this guy?
Wow. An all-in play. It's going to make it a tough call here for Michael, I think. Essentially, all he can beat is a bluff here with the 2 6s at this stage. He's going to lay it down. So you're right, Vince. You wonder if Russ bet too much money there. After making your hand, you know, you want to try to extract some chips from your opponent. He wanted to get them all.
So let's take a look at the Wonder Cam. 9 of diamonds would not have helped Michael Yoshino. But you're right. Maybe that was a little bit too forceful there. But, you know, he's been playing poker for so long, 25 years. You've seen so many bad suckouts on you that you get tired of that. And you say, you know what? Let's end this charade.
I played a satellite tournament the morning of the main event, and I came in second. And I was so discouraged. My wife said, "Hey, we're on this trip and we're supposed to be playing in poker tournaments. You go to the bank and I'll talk to the tournament director." I think I was the last one to register for the tournament. She was right. Here I am.
Well, there's the lady, Vance, Russ's wife, Judy. She's the one that told him, let's get in this tournament.
What a life of Russ Carlson. Rambling, traveling man in the gambling world. This time he's got Queen 4 diamonds.
He lays it down.
Blair out.
Arnold throws his hand away.
Back to Michael Yoshino. And yes, he has another good starting hand. Ace-Jack offsuit.
Comes in for 36,000.
Now Mark quickly folds a pair of 3s wired.
Well, we're around to Phil Ivey. He's got 2 10s here. See how this poker great is going to play him.
28 years old, out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. He has made millions of the game of poker.
Plays in the highest stakes cash games on a daily basis. This guy is not afraid to let the fur fly. He's going to raise it here. Makes it 120,000 to go.
$120,000.
Michael's saying to himself, what am I doing? I forgot who I was playing against.
Now, he knows Phil Ivey is capable of making a play with any 2 cards here just to try to take the pot away from him.
Can you pull this in?
In fact, he has 2 overcards here. We can see that because of the WPT cam. Michael's going to call the raise.
Yep.
So big pot developing here. Over 250,000 in the pot already.
Very nice.
Phil Ivey with the 2 10s. Michael with the ace-jack. And look at this. Phil has flopped 3 10s.
Tremendous.
He's flopped a set, as we say.
But Yoshino's got the inside straight draw.
Yeah, but 9 would give him a straight. Action's going to be on Phil.
How aggressive will he be?
Well, you know he wants to get action here, Vince. When you flop the top set, you're trying to get as many chips as you can. And look at this. He's only betting 100,000.
Bill bets 100,000.
He did not make the overbet that Russ made a minute ago. And now, will Michael play for the gut shot straight draw?
Michael Yoshino plays in L.A. 7 days a week. Only been playing a couple years. Can he figure this out right now?
Looks Looks like Michael's trying to figure out if I set him all in, would he play with me? Could I take the pot away from him? Is it possible my ace-jack is the best hand? Is he making some kind of move on me here? Do I want to gamble to try to hit this gut shot straight?
And he's going to lay it down.
Right now, the Marines' foxhole's being overrun by everybody at the table. Phil Ivey picking up that pot. And Phil would have liked to get some action there, no question about it.
Well, he is always great to watch. What a champion. 5 times he made it to the final table. This is his shot tonight.
Stick around. The big action in Little Reno is just getting started here on the World Poker Tour.
When you watch something on TV and you see them playing their hands, you just take it for granted. But when you're actually in this set, you see all the hundreds of crew members and you realize it's a lot bigger than you ever imagined. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool to be part of this.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're in Reno, Nevada. We just saw poker phenom Phil Ivey take down his first pot. And Vince, this guy truly is incredible. This is the 5th time he's made it to a World Poker Tour final table. And as you know, it's not easy to get to these final tables on the World Poker Tour.
Get the chance to see the young superstar at work once again.
Action's going to be on Russ.
Throws away 9-4.
Blair throws away King 7.
Arnoldspee laying down 7-3 offsuit.
Michael Yoshino with the ace-5 going to raise on the button. Makes it 36,000 to go.
Mark quickly going out with 10-3.
Phil Ivey with ace-10. Michael's drawn the unfortunate position to have Phil Ivey in the big blind here. He's going to call it because Phil's what we call a defender. He doesn't like to give up chips when he's got them out in the pot. Here comes the flop. The flop is 9-8-7, so Phil Ivey has flopped an open-end straight draw.
Michael Yoshino has a little straight draw with the 5.
Yeah, but if a 6 comes off, he's going to be in dire straits because Phil Ivey will have a bigger straight.
Phil's going to check.
Phil checks.
Give this Marine credit, Vince. This guy's got courage, no question about it. That's 50,000.
Not going to slow down.
Now Phil Ivey always has his computer poker mind whirring away. What he's wondering right now is this guy making a move on me? Does he have a hand? He only bet 50,000. If I come over to the top of him, can I take the pot away from him? These are the things you think about when you're sitting at a poker table. And certainly Phil Ivey doesn't miss a trick. Well, he calls the 50,000, so here we go to the turn. The Queen of Diamonds comes up now. No help to either player. Phil checks.
Yeah, he's slowing down.
Is Michael going to fire another shell at this pot against the great Phil Ivey? He has nothing here.
Starting to rack up the chips, though, like he's going to bet it, and yes!
140,000. What a play by this young Marine Reserve.
He is not just going to go away. He is bet right into Phil.
It's 140,000 to call. He's got less than $600,000 left. Just can't imagine you want to make a call for that amount of money at this stage. Most players would just fire their cards right in the muck.
Come on, man.
All in. What bold poker you're seeing by Phil Ivey.
Yeah, look at Michael Yoshino's look. Absolute devastation.
How much?
He's saying how much, but Vince, there's no way this guy can call this with an ace-5. Impossible to do.
You got to ask. You can't afford it. And Michael Yoshino just saving face right now.
Well, that's all he's doing exactly because there's no way he's going to call this bet.
He's saying, why do I have to pick on Phil Ivey?
Well, maybe you
Just
better
not
quit
that
picking
easy.
on him. But let me tell you something.
He throws it away.
Very few players in the country would have made that move, Vince. In fact, in the world, you can count them on one hand probably, the players that would come over the top for all the money right there. Phil Ivey's one of them. What a play.
Well, listen, we know how much he wants to win the title, too, but he's not afraid of the quick exit, and that's what makes him a great player.
Poker pro Phil Ivey is raising to reach the top.
I think that the fact that people have seen what I've done on television, it's a little bit of a disadvantage.
Long. I call.
Whoa!
Because there's certain things that I can't get away with that I used to be able to get away with.
Phil Ivey is out.
I just play based on the situation, based on the person that I'm playing against.
And Phil's situation has changed a lot over the years.
I used to have a telemarketing job in New Brunswick, New Jersey. You could come and go as you please. So whenever I would lose my money playing poker, I would end up going back there and working, get some money together.
From calling to get by to raising for a living, Phil Ivey has learned that even high stakes can be relative.
My wife plays 25 cent, 50 cent on the internet. She hates to lose. Now, I don't really discuss how I do with my wife because, you know, she gets devastated when I lose a whole bunch of money. One day, I came home and I lost $276,000 in the game. And you won't believe what happened to me today. I lost 73 cents playing 1 cent, 2 cent. And she was like really upset about it. I was thinking to myself, man, I just lost $276,000. My name is Phil Ivey. I'm 28 years old and I'm a professional poker player.
Well, the number one skill in poker is being able to put your opponent on a hand. Phil Ivey, one of the best in the world at that skill. You saw it right there. He just took that pot away from the young Marine.
Well, and with that, he is now the chip leader. He's got about $925,000 in front of him. Action is going to be on Michael Yoshino. He quickly folds 10-8. Mark Chapik looks down at Queen, Jack of Spades, and he's gone all in with the short stack. Phil Ivey folding an ace-3.
And Mark Chapik is blinded and nanning himself off half his stack. He started this final table on the short stack. He's moving all in right now with the Queen, Jack of Spades.
Russ Carlson.
Well, he looks down at ace-4. Now, when a short stack moves in on you, you always sense that they're a little bit desperate, that they could be moving in with any two cards. Because of Amber Box WPT Cam, we can see that Russ has the best hand with the ace high here. Will he make the call? But Russ is going to lay it down.
Blair Rodman going out with King-8. And now around to Arnold Spee, and he's picked up the Wayne Gretzky, number 99.
Ace King again?
He's going to call out of the big blind. Well, we're going to have a race situation here. Mark Chapik with the Queen, Jack of Spade. Arnold Spee with the 2 9s. And Mark, the amateur from Cleveland, must win this pot to keep his dream alive.
Your pocket nines. 2 live ones, baby. You got one of my spades.
Mark Chapik got in here through a satellite. That means he put up a little amount of money to take a shot at the big time.
Nearly 200,000 in this pot. Here comes a flop, and a jack comes right off.
He's got diamonds.
Mark has hit the pair of jacks. However, Arnold has 4 flushed.
Make it black.
Arnold now needs a 9 or a diamond to win this pot. So Mark has got to dodge these bullets if he wants to stay in this tournament. Well, there's one he's dodged. The King of Spades comes on the turn.
And the self-professed good old boy from Cleveland. He's got to sweat one more card. Otherwise, it's back to watching reruns of Dukes of Hazzard. Here comes the river.
Well, let's see if he can do it.
He did it.
A jack comes off. Mark's made 3 jacks. Claps for himself. He knows he's back in the race.
He's 36 years old. He builds houses for a living.
You know, it's so good to see these amateurs come out and play in these World Poker Tour events, win satellites to get in them, and then to battle your way down to this final table.
That wasn't as exciting as the one yesterday.
That was very exciting.
Well, it's the greatest thing about the World Poker Tour. Anyone can play. Unlike other sports where you have to be the best, all you need here is guts and money.
Well, speaking of the best, action is on Phil Ivey.
Looking down at King 10 this time, offsuit.
He's going to raise it. Comes in for 36,000.
Yes, he is. But right behind him, Russ Carlson with a whopper, ace king of clubs.
And he's staring down at Phil. This is a very big hand. He's getting out some chips.
I look at Russ, you know, doesn't really look like a poker player. Looks more like your local handyman, you know? Should be walking around with a plunger, not a deck of cards.
Hey, he does. He looks like a tool belt should go around that waist, doesn't it?
All in.
He's going all in, though.
Well, he's going all in, not fooling around.
And right behind him, Blair, size, because he has a wired pair of 10s.
I knew you were going to do that.
He lays down the two 10s.
Watch this on TV.
Andrew going out.
And Michael Yoshino looking down at two queens says, I call.
Holy moly. I don't care what I have, it's going in.
Mark going out. Phil going away.
So here we go, the classic race situation, a no-limit hold'em. It's ace-king versus two queens. And Vince, if this young Marine Reserve doesn't win this pot, the guy who started this final table as our chip leader, he will be out in 6th place. So far, everything's gone wrong for him. Can he hold up with the two queens? If so, he'll be our chip leader.
5 cards to come. What will happen? Stay tuned. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Exciting action here in the World Poker Challenge. Michael Yoshino all in with the two queens. He's up against Russ Carlson, who has ace-king of clubs. Poor Michael hasn't won a pot yet today, but if he wins this one, he'll be our chip leader. Can he get a break? Will the two queens stand up against the ace-king? Here comes the flop.
Jack.
So far, so good for Michael. Comes Jack, 3 deuce.
To Russ. Russ is gonna
So Russ must catch an ace or a king or 2 running cards if he wants to knock Michael out of here. Well, both players know how important this hand is.
Here comes the turn.
Well, the queen of clubs comes off. Now Michael's made the top set, but look what's happened, Vince. Russ now has a flush draw and a straight draw. A 10 would give him a straight. A club would give him a flush. It's never easy, Michael.
No, so Russ has a few outs. Would like to eliminate the young man from Los Angeles, California with this.
Michael got to dodge a club or a 10 right now to stay alive. Can he do it?
Trying to double up.
He's done it. A 5 of diamonds comes off.
And an elated Michael Yoshino.
Well, finally, he gets a break here at this final table. He doubles up and takes the chip lead once again.
Russ Carlson getting a run for his money there.
I think you can't fault him for going all in with ace-king of clubs there, Vince. That's a powerful hand, a no-limit hold'em. Unfortunately for him, he lost the race.
But right now, Michael Yoshino back on track.
I'm Michael Yoshino. I'm 23 years old. I live in San Marino, California. I've always been playing cards since I was a little kid. I'm usually a pretty solid player. Sometimes I change it up. Sometimes I play a little looser, a little tighter. It all depends on the situation I'm in.
And with that last pot, 23-year-old Michael Yoshino is once again our chip leader with over $1 million in chips. Phil Ivey in 2nd place with about $850. Arnold Spee in 3rd place with a little over $740. Blair Rodman in 4th place with $550. And the 2 short stacks are Russ Carlson and Mark Chapik.
And the blinds have gone up to 10 and 20,000. Action on Arnold. He throws away his hand. Michael Yoshino going out. Builder goes out. Mark Chapik.
Round to Phil Ivey on the button. And look, Vince, he's got 2 aces.
He's got the mother of all poker hands.
That comes in for 60,000. Just hoping to get some action.
Russ quickly going out with Jack 7.
Round to Blair.
Blair's got king deuce of clubs.
Now Blair knows that Phil could raise with any 2 cards. Little does he know Phil has 2 aces here. Would Blair be stubbing his toe here? He does get away from the hand. And Phil Ivey not so happy that he didn't get any action when he had 2 aces.
And this young guy has won tremendous amounts of cash and jewelry in his time. But the one thing that's eluded him is a World Poker Tour title. He'd love to get that this evening.
Oh, you're right, Vince. He craves the WPT title. Has yet to win one, but has great opportunity to do so tonight.
All right, back on the green felt on Michael Yoshino. Throws away 6-4. Right behind him, Mark with ace-jack's gone all in again.
You're on the short stack. You're just going to make a move. Try to make something happen.
Phil quickly out. Now Russ Carlson has a wired pair of 7s.
That's the 9s over there, isn't it?
Well, you see his dilemma, Vince.
Well, he's short stacked as well.
This is the exact reason I think middle pairs are the toughest hand in No Limit Hold'em to play. What do you do in a spot like this? Is the guy making a move on the short stack? Could he have a lower pair? Does he have 2 overcards, and do you want to race for your money? What do you do now?
Well, the bad thing was that the developer got in there first. He went all in, and he got a few players behind you as well.
Well, I came here to gamble. All in.
Well, Vince said he came to gamble. So after a hesitation, he is going to gamble with the 2 sevens. He's gone all in.
Count it, please.
But right behind him, Blair Rodman's got big slick, ace-king in his hand.
Wow. What a decision Blair has to make right now. 2 players all in front of him.
But I'll tell you something. The hesitation by Russ, taking that time and then saying, I'm going to gamble, that could encourage a call here for Blair.
236 total.
Got the shot of taking 2 players out in one foul swoop.
Many times when 2 players go all in at once, you just throw the ace-king away when you're sitting behind him. In this case, though, Mark moved in first on the short stack. And then the long hesitation with the speech, I came to gamble. You just have to wonder if Blair thinks he has the best hand right now with the ace-king. You know, Mark is probably not wanting Blair to call, regardless what he has. He's just like to beat 1 player. It's going to be tougher to try to beat 2. Because of the WPT cam, we see how tough it would really be on Mark to win this spot if Blair came into it.
You're going to triple me up, huh?
You can try.
Blair Rodman is making the call.
Arnold going out.
So here we go.
I think I'm in bad shape.
2 players all in.
I was hoping you'd say that.
The possibility of 2 players being eliminated. Mark Chapik with ace-jack.
Ooh, I'm in big trouble. Give me a jack.
Russ Carlson with a pair of 7s up against Blair Rodman, who has big slick.
I like those jacks.
This is exciting.
Blair Rodman from Las Vegas has them covered. If he wins this pot, he takes out 2 players at 1 blow. That's a rarity on the World Poker Tour final tables. Will it happen again right now?
I don't think I can beat you without beating you.
3 kings up there, right?
I'm ahead now.
Come on, baby.
Ace-king, ace-jack, and a pair of 7s all going at it. Here's the first 3.
Flop is queen 9-6.
And that is good for Russ so far. His pair of 7s holding up.
Give me a spade.
Mark asking for a spade because he has the ace of spade. That would give him a flush draw.
Everyone having to sweat this right now.
Well, a big pot here, nearly 700,000 in the pot. Here comes a turn card, a king. What a card for Blair Rodman there.
Oh, he's out in front with a pair of kings.
Well, he knows it's not over yet. This longtime pro recognizes that a 10 would beat him. That would give Mark a straight, and a 7 would give Russ 3 sevens. So Blair Rodman must dodge a 7 or a 10. If he does so, he's going to take 2 players out of this tournament in 1 swift blow.
He's the river.
Well, it's a queen.
Nice play.
Well, that's going to do it for the 2 amateurs at the table.
So Mark Chapik, the home builder from Cleveland, Ohio, picking up $60,000.
Russ started with more chips than Mark, so he will finish in 5th place, and Mark Chapik will be our 6th place finisher. And Russ Carlson, thanks to his wife Judy, will pick up $77,000 for his Evers this week. And Vince, he can go back home and do some serious fly fishing with that kind of money.
And with that, 2 players knocked out. We are down to 4 at the World Poker Challenge from Reno, Nevada. Stay tuned. We're coming right back on the World Poker Tour.
My name is Blair Rodman. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm a professional gambler. I've done everything in gambling. I've done sports betting, blackjack, casino tournaments, golf gambling. Is this table going to be easy to push around? I don't think so. There aren't many of them that are easy to push around anymore.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. You're watching the World Poker Challenge from Reno, Nevada.
Well, we are down to 4 players. We just saw 2 players eliminated on the same hand. Let's go back and take a critical replay look at this hand just to show you that you have to be very careful about what you do and what you say at a poker table.
Well, Mark Chapik going all in. Now Russ Carlson with the decision with the 7s. Takes his time.
Well, I came here to gamble.
When a guy says, I'm here to gamble, most of the time, if you believe the guy, you know he doesn't have aces, kings, or queens, so he's got some kind of moderate gambling hand. That's what I think Blair paid attention to. It was a good spot to try to knock both those guys out.
You're going to triple me up, huh?
And try.
It worked out well for him.
Started with 361 players, down to 4. Total prize pool of $1.7 million.
Well, so far so good for 23-year-old Michael Yoshino. He's up against a lot of experience in Phil Ivey and Blair Rodman. Who's going to take this title?
All right, action on Michael Yoshino. Throws away Jack 5.
Phil Ivey on the button, going to raise it with ace 4. Comes in for $60,000. Blair folds.
And now it's around to Arnold Spee. He's got king, queen, respectable hand.
A nice hand in the big blind, so Arnold's going to call the raise. Here comes a flop. Well, the flop is 9-6-4.
Gives Phil Ivey a little piece of it, pair of 4s.
Yep, he's got bottom pair.
But it's going to be on Arnold to act first, coming out with absolute zip and pip.
Firing right into the razor, Phil Ivey here. Bet $70,000. What Phil Ivey is thinking right now is, why is this guy betting into me? I raised before the flop. He knows I'm an aggressive player. If he had something, wouldn't he check to me right now?
And you got to give it to Arnold Spee. His player image today at the table has been kind of tight. So he's going to gain respect by this. This would be a very tough call for Phil Ivey to make.
Well, we said earlier, Phil Ivey, one of the best in the world at reading opponents.
Now, because the WPT cam, we know that Phil's in front.
He's got to make this play without that WPT cam, Vince. It's not easy to do.
With a miserable pair of 4s.
Vince, he's not calling. He is re-raising here.
Oh, what a move.
What? Arnold says all in with nothing here.
Arnold.
This is an unbelievable play by Arnold Spee. Phil bet $190,000. Arnold is going all in for over $600,000. He has king high, folks. What a bold play right here by Arnold Spee.
Phil only has a little measly pair of 4s.
Well, Phil's wondering, is this guy making a move on it? Would he do this with a 7 and 8 in his hand, with a straight draw, for example? Has he got the heart to make a play like this on me with nothing? The answer, Phil, is yes, he does.
$451,000 raise.
Well, he does lay it down. But he took his time in doing so.
Oh, and look at that look by Phil. Like to reach over across the table and choke this guy.
Well, what about Arnold Spee here, Vince? To make a play like that at this critical situation, bluffing all your money with no hand against the Phil Ivey who just re-raised you. That is some play.
Arnold Spee really can spy a lie.
You have to be able to look at somebody and know if they're lying. With no emotion on their face, I can sometimes tell whether they're bluffing or not. When I first started playing, I never listened to my gut, even though something told me what appears to be the best hand was not. And I would never listen to my gut, and I'd put all my chips in and lose. After about a dozen times of that, I started listening to my gut feeling. It's just an intuition that something's telling me I either have the best hand or the worst hand. And when I get that feeling, I always go with it. And I haven't lost a hand since then. I was in sales and advertising before I started playing poker and hated every minute of it. I love poker. I feel I have a natural ability for it. Yes! My name is Arnold Spee, and I'm a professional poker player.
Hip, hip, hooray for Arnold Spee. What a move there, Mike.
Vince, you got to respect all these players at the table. They are not in fear of Phil Ivey. In fact, at the moment, they're outplaying him.
All right, on Arnold Spee. Looks down at King 10 this time.
Well, he's going to raise it. Comes in for $60,000.
Right behind him, Michael Yoshino's got the suited connector, 8-7 of hearts.
Well, it's the kind of hand that all poker players like to see a flop with. Michael sitting in good position on the button is going to call the 60,000.
Phil going to throw down 4-3. And now we're on to Blair Rodman. He's called us with ace-10.
So we have three-way action here. The only guy sitting out is Phil Ivey.
Ace-10, 8-7, king-10.
Oh, and Phil wished he was back in. He would have flopped a straight.
But Blair with the aces checks this.
Arnold quickly checks right behind him. Michael going to try to represent an ace in his hand. He leads out and bets with the 8 high here, 100,000.
Going to try to take this pot. Now, can you take this down with the guy that has aces?
Call.
Nope.
No, Blair's going to call this bet.
Arnold quickly going out.
And right now, Blair in great shape with the 2 aces. Now the jack of hearts comes on the turn. This gives Michael a flush draw.
That's some respectability there. It's on Blair first.
He checked on the flop to get his opponent to bet. Is he going to check again? There's no way you're going to put your opponent on a heart draw here when a heart comes on the turn. But Blair is going to bet the 150,000.
Wants to shake this Michael Yoshino loose, but this time he's 4-flushed. Trying to figure out Blair.
Well, he's got to be wondering, why is Blair leading out and betting me now? You know, I bet on the flop. He just called me. If he had a real big hand, wouldn't he want to check raise me here? He's going to call it, though, Vince.
He's going to see one more card.
Well, a big pot here. Nearly 700,000 in the pot. Blair has the best hand with 2 aces. Michael has the heart flush draw, and the heart comes off, Vince.
He got it.
Wow. He has made the heart flush here. This could spell doom for Blair Rodman.
Miserable card for Blair Rodman.
There's no way Blair can put him on a flush here. He may suspect he was beat already when Michael called him on the turn, but I don't think he can put him on a 5 either, Vince. He's never going to call 150,000 with just a pair of 5s.
Check it.
Blair is going to check it. Now, Michael, who's made the flush, there's a pair out there, meaning someone could have a full house, but if you put 150,000 in on the turn to draw it a flush and then hit it, you're going to bet it. And that's indeed what he's doing. He bets 300,000.
Pretty stiff bet.
Blair better work this out, or his stack is going to be worked down to nothing. What Blair's wondering is, was he beat on 4th Street? Did Michael try to trap him by calling then? Could he have ace-jack? Did he have ace-queen? Does he have ace-king?
I guess this can't be any good, Michael. Good hand.
Oh, nice laydown.
Wow, now that's an impressive laydown by Blair Rodman right there to save that 300,000, Vince.
I'm going to ask you, Mike, you think the increment was a little too strong? He's going to get him for 150,000 on the river. He might get him for 200, but 300 is awfully expensive.
Well, I don't know, Vince. About 700,000 in that pot. I like the $300,000 bet. I think it's tough for Blair to get away from that hand. Yet he did so. Give him credit for laying that down.
We're watching the World Poker Challenge from Reno, Nevada. Stay tuned. We're coming right back with more.
She's doing a really good job. It's the last lady standing. She's a woman with a lot of heart, and she can handle a table with 9 pros. No big deal for her. She doesn't frighten me at the poker table. She frightens me doing other things.
Pay me 20 feet to see my hand.
We don't want to get into that. We're the team. Team grinder.
Welcome back to the biggest game in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada.
We are at the Reno Hilton for the 15th and final stop of the tour before next week's WPT World Championship event. Let's go check the chip count and get back to the table.
And right now it's Semper Fi time. Our chip leader, 23-year-old Marine Reserve Michael Yoshino, with well over $1 million in chips.
23 years old with a chance of becoming a WPT champion. It's all on the line here for him tonight. Will he live up to the task?
Well, action's going to be back on Blair. Looks at a 9 deuce and folds.
Arnold looking down at Queen 7, the button in front. Nope, he's going out. Michael Yoshino this time has Acey Deucey, the kids game.
He limps in the small blind.
And now Phil Ivey with 8-6 is going to raise 40,000.
Phil trying to pick the pot up right here, but it's not working. Michael's going to call him with the ace high.
Here's the flop.
Flop is 8-4 deuce. Phil Ivey has flopped top pair. Michael Yoshino has flopped bottom pair.
And Michael quickly checked it. But Phil getting the chips out. He's betting.
Well, Phil's going to bet 80,000 here. Now, Michael wondering if Phil's making a move here. Does he have King Jack, King 10, Queen Jack, something like that? Are his 2 deuces good? That's the thing about Phil Ivey. You just can never put him on a hand. Here he raised before the flop with 8-6. He's flopped top pair. Michael's going to raise it 200,000.
Oh, boy, a stiff raise into his old nemesis, Phil Ivey. You know, he's been slapped around by Phil all night long, but it's not like he's staying away out of his hair. He's saying, I'm going right back at you, sir.
Well, he has check raised Phil Ivey here. And believe me, you might have top pair, but with 2 8s and a 6 kicker, you are not a happy camper when you've been check raised.
Don't forget, both these players were in the blinds, the small blind and the big blind. Those are the kind of hands you can almost have anything. But Phil did raise it before the flop.
Phil Ivey trying to put the pieces together. He is the best in the business at this. What's he going to do against this young Marine Reserve?
That was a gutsy raise into Phil.
Well, I'm telling you, because we have the advantage of the Amber Bach WPT cam, we can see that Phil has way the best hand. But if you're sitting down there and the guy's check raised you in this spot, your 2 8s with a 6 kicker just doesn't look very good. Phil's gone all in.
Oh!
Well, the crowd cheers. They love to see action.
What a move he's made.
Well, now you put the pressure back on Michael Yoshino here. What does he do now with bottom pair? Well, Vince, there's nearly 950,000 in the pot right now. It's going to cost him another 250,000 to call here. He's getting 4-to-1 odds on his money.
He's cracking his knuckles saying, why did I mess with Phil Ivey again? I keep trying it.
Oh, man. Well, now there's so much money out there. You have to just hope you have the best hand, or do you want to try to outdraw the guy?
This is just 2 great poker players playing the player. Masters at reading your opponent.
Well, it's just uncanny instincts by Phil Ivey right here. Well over $1 million in this pot here if he makes this call. He's doing it.
Yes, he is.
Well, Vince, he's gambling here with the bottom pair. Phil Ivey is going to love it when he sees the guy's hand because he has made the right play. Shows a lot of poker savvy. Now the question is, can he stave off his opponent and win the pot?
Michael shows ace deuce with a pair of deuces.
Well, if he doesn't, he will be gone. He would be our 4th place finisher. So Phil Ivey in some trouble here. Out in front, though. Here comes the turn card.
Well, it's a 4. So we're going off to the river. Phil Ivey in great shape to double up and take the lead at this final table. All he's got to do is dodge an ace or a deuce.
Can he sweat this out? Will he survive?
Well, it's a 10.
He did it.
Well, the crowd cheers. You know, they love Phil Ivey. The guy's an action player. He's a legitimate poker star. And they don't want to see him out of this tournament, Vince. Everybody likes to watch this guy play.
Well, he's a young guy, but he's a big-time gambler. Just great card sense. Phil Ivey taking a massive pot.
Well, you have to think that the Marine Reserve stepped on a landmine there a little bit, Vince. Not only did he deplete his stack, he put the toughest player at the table in the chip lead.
361 players started. $1.7 million prize pool. And action's going to be on Michael Yoshino. This time looks down at ace-9 of spades. He's going to raise 40,000.
Yep, he comes in for 60,000. Phil Ivey on the button with ace-7 of hearts. He's going to call 60,000.
Now Blair Rodman in the small blind has an 8-5 of diamonds. Does he want to speculate here?
It'll cost him 50,000 more to call. It's the kind of hand that you like to play. Hope you hit the dream flop where you can break some players. And Blair is going to make the call.
Behind him, Arnold Spee. He's got a wired pair of sixes. Not bad.
Well, he's just going to call also.
Look at that.
A family pot.
A lot of love at this table.
Four-way action, 250,000 in the pot. Here comes the flop.
Four-way action now.
Queen 6-5. Arnold Spee has flopped 3 sixes here.
Check it.
Blair quickly checks. Arnold checks.
He's going to try to set a trap.
Then Michael checks.
And Phil Ivey right now.
Well, he's got the ace-7. What he's saying to himself is, you know, there's a lot of money out there. They all checked. Maybe they don't have a queen.
Arnold flopping trips. He's just praying for a bet here. Well, Phil is going to bet it. 150,000. The trap is working.
Phil Ivey trying to go through the green light. Little does he know he's up against a total red light here.
Now Blair with just a pair of 5s. He caught a piece of that. No, he's going to go out.
I'm going to raise.
Oh, well, here it is.
Arnold's going to raise with the 3 sixes here.
You bet you are, Arnold.
Well, I'm not sure this is the best of plays. And that if he calls in this spot, you know, you just keep checking to Phil Ivey. Let him do the betting here. Walk the dog, as we say. But Arnold is going to raise it. There's a 2-card straight on the board. Doesn't want to gamble to get outdrawn here, I guess. So he's going to raise it. And a healthy raise, Vince. 300,000.
Michael quickly going out, and Phil doesn't want any part of it.
Well, he shows him the 3 sixes, Vince.
Yeah. He scared his players away there a little bit.
Well, you wonder if he could have played that a little different, where he might have got more chips out of it. But he made a nice check on the flop. Phil Ivey took the piece of bait once. And Arnold Spee, now the chip leader.
There's more poker action from the biggest little city in the world when the WPT continues right after this.
Egos have broken a lot of people in poker.
Double me up again. I'm going to take all your chips. I'm going to destroy you.
Oh, he is out.
Probably his ego calling.
Phil Hellmuth out in 3rd place.
You know, I don't feel like I have a greater advantage because I have a bigger name than these guys. You know, my little sister could beat me. I mean, anybody could beat anybody in poker. That's the beautiful thing about the game.